What's up, everyone? Episode 92 of the podcast. As always, I am your boy, Cletus Wintercorn. And today I am talking to a really talented young dude that I'm really high on. I really like watching this kid. Landon Kelley joins me today from Fort Worth, Texas. How are you doing, Landon?
I'm doing great. A little hungry, because I have to make the weight, but
Yeah, man. So let's talk about you for a second. You are an Ammy flyweight, and you're like tall as shit, man. You're 6'1". How the hell are you doing that? I have never met anyone who's 6'1" or 6 feet tall, whatever the hell you are, that can make 125 pounds. You're probably a pretty skinny dude, but I don't care how skinny you are. That's got to be a tough cut.
the cut was really bad. My first fight, because I really didn't know how to do it. I kind of did it by myself. And I came in literally a fight week about like 145 pounds. I'm way less than that now. So it's gonna be easier cut. But yeah, I'm pretty skinny, but I do have some tone, and I walk around pretty big, so the cut is bad. But I mean, Kevin Fernandez walks around heavier than me, so.
Well, yeah, I know he does that. He's thick, man. He's thick with 2 C's. You know what, Kevin, man, since we're talking about you, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You need to bring back the mustache. Like, you're pissing me off. You need to bring that back, man. Like, I don't. Kevin, come on, man. Like, listen, man. We're professional. It's time to stop fucking around. Bring it back.
When he came to because I'd only seen him in fights without a mustache and like pictures. When he came to the gym with that one, I was like, nah.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing? I was like,
oh, that's funny. I love Kevin. Kevin's a great guy, and he's got a fight tonight. We at the time of this recording, the fight has yet to happen. It'll be getting ready. He'll be getting ready to throw down probably another hour and a half or so. Landon and I are definitely looking forward to watching that. For people who don't know who we're talking about, and about your gym, why don't we start there? You train at the Lamb Striking Academy. I've had your coach on the show. I've had your teammate on this show. And I'll have a few more of you guys on as well. I'll have a few more of your teammates on as well. How did you end up there? And what is that place like?
I'm training partners, or I used to be training partners with the jiu-jitsu coach there at All-American MMA. And when I turned 18 a couple months ago, XKO had hit me up and asked me to fight Tony Tran, and Kevin was supposed to fight Tony Tran, but Tony had pulled out, so the fight never happened. So they were all familiar with Tony Tran, and my training partner Terry Byers, who's the jiu-jitsu coach at Lamb 4, come to Lamb 4 and spar the dude he was supposed to fight and see if you're ready. And he was talking about Kevin Fernandez. But when I got there, I didn't feel that ready. I'm not gonna lie, because Kevin, put that work on me. But me and him are main training partners. We're training. I mean, I consider him a main training partner because we're the only flyweights in the gym. Yeah, the reason I came is because of that. But
you also have to look at it from this end. Like, I wouldn't be too hard on yourself because Kevin's got a lot of experience. He's been at this for a long time.
No, yeah. I know that now. But when I, when I went there, I was like, oh my God, this kid's good. But I know that now. But yeah, he's really good.
I love Kevin. I like everything about him. I think he's so good at everything. And I remember I watched his debut fight. I didn't know who he was. I was watching the fight on Fight Pass, and I saw this dude, and I'm just like, who the fuck is this guy? And I hit him up, man. Like I did as soon as that fight happened.
Was it his pro debut?
Yeah, I hit him up. I was just like, yo, like, dude, you need to be on my podcast. I need to talk to you. And he was like, a what now? And I was like, a podcast, man. I want you on my show. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. And I've been tight with him ever since. Great guy. I love watching him fight, man. He's got a very bright future. He is very, very talented. When you are training with a guy at his caliber, do you think that gives you, Landon, like a really big advantage? Because I can't imagine there are too many 25ers walking around that are having a training partner that's as good as him.
No, and it gives me an extreme confidence too, knowing that like when I go in there, I'm like, yeah, it's insane because he's not just like beating the little guys in training. There's middleweights. Kevin is just beating up, and I don't want to say beating us, but it is. That is what he's. Yeah, he's a different talent, man. He really is, and so it gives me extreme confidence, and I just know that like these dudes that I'm fighting aren't as good as him. Even though the dude I'm fighting right now is really good. But
You're fighting a tough guy. For a flyweight, you usually don't see guys that are able to like take out guys. Even at an Ammy level. I mean, this guy you're fighting, he looks like a tough kid. A question I had for you though, before we get into Peterson, before we talk about your upcoming bout, let's talk a little bit about this first bout. I always like asking it Ammy fighters, particularly when that debut fight was only a few months ago, and it was for you. You only made your Ammy debut a few months back. How nervous were you making that walk, man? Like that. I've always asked that question because some fighters say like it was like a near-death experience. Others say it was like an out-of-body experience. And then a couple have even told me like, I don't even remember it. Like, what was that experience like? Because dude, you're doing something that most of us will never do. And like the adrenaline, like we can all relate to like playing baseball or taking the field in front of your parents. We can't relate to like going into like a cage and getting ready to like fight somebody. Tell me what that experience was like for you.
I was a little nervous. Well, when I had got to the venue, I felt fine. I didn't feel nervous. I just didn't. In the back, I was the third fight, right? Because other fights had got canceled, so I was moved to the third fight. And when the first fight happened, one of the people told us it was the second, and it was super quick. So I thought I was about to fight like right away. So it made me nervous. But then a whole nother fight happened, and it turns out I was the start of the main card. So I had a long break in between. It kind of just calmed my nerves. And then when I heard my music, I just didn't feel that nervous. I look nervous on camera. I do. Like I look nervous, but maybe I'm lying to myself. But I didn't feel nervous like when I was in the fight because I coach Lamb in my corner, and just Derwin is just like he's not just a physical striking or MMA coach. He's a mental coach too. So he just calmed me down. He told me like, this guy's not gonna touch you. You're too long for him. He just let me know. He knew, and I didn't really believe him for some reason. I didn't like this dude is training with Eddie Vasquez and and Douglas Fry and stuff. So it was nervous, especially because he was way older than me, and he had been doing it for a while, Coach Derwin. But I just did what he said. I did it anyway, and he was completely right. And I wasn't nervous. I really wasn't. Like during the fight, I wasn't nervous. I remember like looking in the cage, looking down at the mat, and I'm like, bro, there's a spider in here because there was just this like spider. I was like, this dirty ass ring. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I just remember like I wasn't. It felt more like I don't know. I
would imagine it's like
if
one of
that
those.
even answered your question.
No, it did, and I think it was like the most nervous part to me would be right before. I think, but then I would imagine like once I'm in there, the nerves would start to go away. It's like giving like a speech or something in college or high school or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to psych yourself up to get up in front of a bunch of people and do something. But then as you're doing it, like
it's almost like you forget about the people,
and you forget about the people. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that's probably the closest thing I could come up with in my mind that's somewhat relatable to what you just talked about.
And he had sold the fight very well, the Tony Tran, and everyone at the card was pretty much there for him, like his whole family and just his friends. He's a popular dude, so he had my back in the second round, and he had almost got a rear naked choke, and the whole crowd was screaming Tony, so like just chanting his name, and it made me like motivated, I just thrived, and it made me feel like I was supposed to be there. I don't know, it was weird.
So you fight a really tough dude in your amateur debut. You end up coming out of this fight on top. And when they raise your arm, right? They raise your arm at the end. They say you're the winner by decision. that had to have been an incredible experience. Like, how would you
Yeah.
even begin to describe something like that?
I don't know. It felt really good, but I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't celebrate as much because I'm way better than the fight shows. I'm like, I don't want to say I was way better than, but I've just made leaps and bounds at Lamb Striking and training with Kevin. And, in my personal opinion, I feel like I have, like, I would, I feel like I would destroy that fighter that I was
Well, I
for
mean,
my
that's well, think about what level you're at. Like, you just made your pro debut, and like, or I'm sorry, not pro debut. That's going to happen. I hope not for a couple more years. I hope you can
Yeah.
drink beers legally for a couple years before you even think about that. But when you make your Annie debut, think about where you're going to be 5 years from now. Think about where you're going to be when you're like 25. Think about where you're going to be when you're 30. Like, there should be the guy that you see on tape today should look nothing like the guy that'll be on the tape 4, 5, 6 years from now.
Yeah, I have sparring videos from when I first got to Lamb Striking, and I want to delete them so bad because they're bad. But I know, like, I want to see like a progress, like a video one day to show the difference of like how far I've come from like that to like now.
You know what I would probably do if I were you, because I'm like this. Next time, like when you get ready to make your pro debut, then upload them. So then people think like that was you.
Oh yeah,
Right? And then delete them
yeah. They'd be
after the
like, he's
fight.
out of there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
he's out of
So
there.
like I would use those clips and I would delete them after every fight. And then when you get a new opponent, upload it again. So then they think that's you just to fuck with them, man.
Yeah, I should.
You know what?
But
Like, why not? I certainly would. You won. You get in the fight. I mean, you get into the cage for the first time. This was something that you have been preparing for weeks and weeks and weeks on end. You go through a tough weight cut. I know you came in a little heavy for this fight. You told me it was a bad weight cut. You come out on the other side. When you look back at the whole experience, whether it's the fight, mentally preparing before you walk into the cage, and then the actual weight cut itself, are there any like things that stick out in your mind, like, wow, like for this next fight that we got coming up, I need to do something a little bit different?
yeah, yeah, definitely. Like I was eating good,
Mhm.
and I actually had like a very low body fat percentage for that fight, but I don't think I was water loading correctly, and I don't think because my body had stopped sweating, it just didn't sweat anymore, and I think that's just where I messed up. So I didn't. I did it by myself too, not because like nobody. I just didn't ask for it like I should have. I did everything wrong,
Mhm.
but now like my team's helping me. Kevin's uh gonna help me. He just helped another one of my teammates make weight. So James Vick is helping me. So
Well,
I'm not worried about it.
there, right there. I mean, you're dropping some big names, man, and there aren't a lot of people that have like been there and done that, particularly like James Vick.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, he was good. He's good as hell. Talk to me a little bit about this Aaron Peterson guy. He looks like a tough dude, man. Like I don't know a whole lot about him, but from what I'm able to tell so far, sounds like he's kind of a badass. Like he knocks people out.
Oh, yeah.
2 fights, 2 victories. I think this is going to be a challenge for you. Tell
Yeah, it's
me
gonna be
about
a tough fight.
tell me about how the bout came together and what do you think your opponent does well?
Um, he's been doing it for a long time too, so that's just his experience. I've watched a lot of his fights. I've watched his boxing, amateur fights. I've seen his smokers. I saw him fight with Kevin. Um, uh, I saw his both of his fights. I was there. I was supposed to fight him back in December, but I had a back injury and I had to pull out. So he took a fight, won first round TKO, ground and pound, really good TKO. And I just talked to him like he was walking up I apologized because I couldn't make it to the fight, and it was like a week before too. It was like it was bad, and
Mhm.
my weight cut was going so good too. I was like 134 a week before the fight, but he just seemed like a real nice kid. He was like, yeah, let's do it, we're gonna fight, like I don't have nothing bad to say about him, but he's good. I know he's good.
Well, you're doing it right,
he's
though, man. You're doing it right. Like you're supposed to fight good people.
Yeah.
And not everyone does.
Yeah, but he's number 3 in the state on, for
Perfect, then.
Texas.
Good.
Yeah. And but he's Steven Peterson's brother, his little brother. So
oh shit, really?
yeah, he's the XKO commentator. He fights. I saw you make your prediction. But
yeah, man, that guy better not let me down too, man. I'm rolling the dice on I'm rolling the dice on that dude. But you know what? Good for you though. Like fighting a guy like this, like you're supposed to fight guys like this. Like, because here's the deal, man. Let's say you go out there and let's say it doesn't go your way. Let's say you lose a decision to this guy. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
I could definitely lose this fight. He could finish me. It's things to that, but I don't think I'm gonna let that happen. The people I train with, even if it does happen, it's an amateur. I'm not worried about it, but I do want to win, and I think
of course you do.
I think my size is gonna be a big advantage. He I wouldn't say he has like power. He's not knocking anybody out. I'm not trying to discredit him. But he's a really high pressure fighter. So like he has cardio. He just can throw like 100 strikes at you, and he just comes forward the whole time. So that's where he does really well in. But
good for you for fighting this kid though, Landon, because let me tell you, man, like oftentimes you'll look at some of these Ammys that are just starting out, you'll look at some of the guys that they're fighting, and a lot of them are garbage cans.
Like 0-7 or something like that.
Like, and here's the thing, it's like I understand you got to fight who's in front of you, you got to fight who can make the weight and who happens to be there. So it's not always the fighter's fault. I get that, but I will say there are definitely fighters out there that are definitely cherry picking and trying to take the easy fights. Yeah. We all know it, man. We all know it.
Yeah. Also, if I beat this guy, which I think I'm going to, obviously, like who doesn't,
but, you better say that.
But they're trying to make him like the face of XKO right now, like they're promoting him really heavy. I know people don't think I'm gonna win, so it's just gonna be a big confidence booster, because in my opinion, I think he's the best flyweight in XKO right now. It's not even close in my opinion. So if it's just
let him have the limelight, let him have the crowd, let him have the popularity.
Even after I beat him, he might win his next couple fights, So we might meet again because they have amateur belts in XKO, so we might meet again for the flyweight strap or something, or bantamweight, even if he goes up. He's a bit smaller. He's 5'6".
Okay.
Yeah, he probably.
I think you both will probably end up going up. Like there's,
for sure.
There's no way honestly, you can do 25.
I want this to be my last 125 fight, to be honest.
Yeah, I get that, because let me tell you what, man, like when you're 28, 29, 30 years old, I guarantee you're not even gonna come close to making 125.
I know, not even. James Vick tells me you should never go past 145, and I'm like, dude, what are you talking? I feel like I'm gonna get bigger eventually, because I'm getting bigger already. Like,
yeah, if you fill out, yeah, absolutely. But look at like the 170ers, man. Look at Colby Covington and look at Kamaru Usman. They're fucking huge. They're massive.
They're big. Yeah.
Like Usman's got to be walking around at like 210. Like he's fucking massive.
He lies about his weight. He says he doesn't walk around that much. Yeah.
Dude, he's
Colby Covington walks around like 185 too,
Yeah. Like they I mean, some of these guys are just freaking jacked out of their mind. They're freaking huge. I'm excited for you, man. Like I looked at this on paper, and when I saw this kid's name pop up, I'm like, okay, like we're taking this seriously. We're fighting against a challenging guy. But you know what? Here's what I have to say about it. You win no matter what. No matter what, you already win. Why? Because as long as you make the weight, you show up and you do the best that you can. That's what matters. Because, dude, this is Ammy's. Like, no one's going to give a shit because the clock's going to reset eventually.
Yeah.
You're supposed to fight the tough guys. That's the only way you're going to get better. And if people want to hype him up, if the promotion wants to hype him up, if he sells out the crowd or sells out, whatever, like good on him, man. I'm not hating on that kid. Good for him. He's doing
Yeah, me
exactly
neither.
what he
Yeah,
needs.
good for him.
Yeah, he's doing what he needs to do. Nothing but respect for him. But here's the thing. The downside of that is he's got to manage those expectations.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
All
that's
that
that's
pressure's
that's
on
what I
him.
think about. Yeah, that's how I feel. It's like, people, everyone expects him to win, and it's not like I personally think I'm gonna be his hardest fight. This is the most challenging fight. Just attribute wise, like
Yeah.
I'm 6'1", I have a very long reach. I'm not saying he's not gonna hit me, but he's gonna have a hard time. And I know he's gonna shoot for takedowns because you got to when you fight someone like me. So I think my grappling is gonna look better too. I just it's actually the fighter I am. I'm a grappler. But when you train at Lamb Striking Academy, they turn you into a striker. So
Hey man, you know what? I think it's great. Good for you, Landon. Like take this good fight, and I hope you find the best version of Aaron Peterson that is alive. I hope this guy is
Me
the
too.
best version of himself.
Me too.
And I hope it's a hard fight for you. I really do. I don't want you to get an easy win. I want you to have to work for it, because
Me too.
the longer that you're in that octagon and the longer that you're finding yourself in these like uncomfortable positions, like that's how you're going to get better. That's how you
He's
get
good
better.
too. I mean, his pro debut, like it was. I mean, his amateur debut. It like, he did really good. He looked like. I mean, both of them honestly looked good in that fight. They were both around the same height and just threw down. And I could show you the fight later if you want. But
Yeah, send me the fight later. But I want to ask you, like, when you look at like your 2022, now obviously I know Coach T has to like vet all your fights, and he's the one that handles probably like 90% of all this stuff. You're in the gym, man. You do what you're told. I get it. But for you, when you look at your 2022, like how often do you want to be out there? Like what are some of the goals that you have to develop as a fighter in 2022?
But in 2022, I don't plan on fighting like an enormous amount, maybe twice, 3 times. I want to fight in May because there's a event in Texas Live, and I really like that venue. So I think I might want to do that, but maybe something near the end of the year after that. I want to take a long break. I just want to develop my skills and just get better and not have to worry about fighting or just take it. Just take it slow. I'm 18 years old. It's not like I have to rush into it.
No, absolutely not. You don't. Time's definitely on your side. And the other thing is like you got to take care of your body, even though you're young, even though I know you heal up really quick. It's like, no, take the time, analyze what really happened, and then reflect on it and get better, like slowly and surely. And you know what? You will get there. You're in good hands. I love that gym, man. Like I love what Coach D's doing down there. I think it's freaking fantastic. I don't know when I'm ever going to be in Dallas Fort Worth. I've been to the airport one time, but if I'm there, man, I'm going to show up with some brisket. I'm going to fucking, I don't know, man. I'll UFC for all you motherfuckers. I'll destroy every one of you. But and then after I beat you in the video game, you guys can like destroy me in real life. I guess that's way cooler anyway.
I feel like Coach D has a new breed of fighters coming, right now. We have Andrew Strickland, Taquan Wiley. I feel like Kevin Fernandez is still part of the new breed, and I'm fighting. Like he just has like these new fighters coming up and who haven't lost, and it's just I just feel like.
Okay, I got a question for you. Is Wiley Titty Boy?
Yeah.
Titty Boy. Okay. I get confused, man, because like I look at it like Kevin must have told me. I probably asked Kevin like 3 or 4 times because he's like, "Yo, man, you need to hit up Taquan Wiley." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Then I tried finding him on Instagram and I couldn't. I'm like, "What the fuck?" Okay, whatever. And then I found that out eventually. But dude, I forget shit, man. And then then I start talking about titties and I don't know, man. It's just like tell him to put his real name in his Instagram, man. Tell him to do that.
Well, it was Taquan Wiley, but I told him, I was like, well, you got to go to Titty Boy because that's what the commentators call. They don't call him Taquan Wiley when they're calling his fights. They just call him Titty Boy, and so Yeah.
Homie's gonna get canceled if you guys keep this shit up.
You've seen it. You've seen why they call him Titty Boy, right?
I know that. I know they call him.
Okay.
I know why, but I'm just saying other people don't know what he looks like, and he's gonna get canceled if people don't know. I think it is hilarious though.
Yeah. Actually, me and Taquan came at the exact same time. Me and him are like best. We know each other from high school, so me and him are like, you know, he came in when I started telling him to like come train with me and all that. He was 223 pounds, and now he's 160 pounds.
Good for him, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Me and him are like close and walking around weight out of camp is crazy.
Good for him, man. Like it shows just like with a little bit of like dedication and discipline what you can accomplish. I think that's fantastic. Before I let you go, two things. Number one, tell me how Kevin's gonna win tonight. I gotta know. Because you can go ahead.
I have two ways. I have two ways that I promise. But unless it's just the decision happens, but it's gonna be a body shot TKO, or it's gonna be an anaconda choke.
All right. Well,
right now.
That's cool because I'm not editing this or putting it out until tomorrow. Yeah. So we're not going to jinx anything. I also wanted to ask you, who do you got? Izzy or Whitaker?
It's weird because when the fight first happened, I picked Whitaker to win, but I just know how good Izzy is now. But Whitaker, man, he's been on a tear his last 3 fights. But I just think Izzy's just a level above. I think he's gonna win again. Stoppage.
Fuck, man. I don't know. I'm thinking about this fight already. I haven't done the picks yet with Johnny. But I have to start thinking about it because that's next week, and I don't.
Yeah, I love Johnny. Well, that's a new thing, right? I love watching the lives and watching the picks.
Oh yeah, dude. We have a lot of fun doing that, man. Like we mostly do it just to talk shit to each other.
yeah, y'all are funny too. Yeah, it's funny.
He's a cool dude, man. We're definitely gonna keep doing that. We enjoy picking the fights, but dude, I pick the Bellator fights. I am the fucking Bellator master. Like, dude, I parlay shit, dude. I got all things.
I'm pretty good with Bellator, but I couldn't believe Darian Caldwell lost. I thought he was
dude, I was so disappointed with that.
I know, because it wasn't even. Yeah.
I talked to him at the Bellator press conference. He's a really cool dude.
Yeah. Oh, didn't you post about the Wolf MMA? I saw you post about it.
Yeah. He's cool as shit, man. What I like so much about this show is I like talking to you guys, especially guys like you that are just starting out, because I know how hard this is. I know how difficult it is.
Yeah.
And you're not getting paid right now. And a lot of what you need to do is get people interested because you're probably only getting 10% of whatever tickets you're able to sell. Best case. And the more used you get to being front and center and dealing with people, the better off you're going to be, because like half the business is about promotions, man.
Yeah.
And that's what this is really all about, is
I know. Like, thank you for giving me the opportunity too to like come on the show.
Of course, man. And we'll do it again too. Landon, man, I am looking forward to your fight. I know it's going to be a good one. Are you going to be selling tickets for this event? No tickets. Okay, cool. So when you do sell tickets, or if there's anything that you got going on, please let me know. Landon, I want to give you the last word, man. So if there's anyone you'd like to shout out, why don't you go ahead and do that?
I want to, shout out God first, always. Derwin Lamb, James Vick, Kevin Fernandez, Titty Boy, everyone. Lamb for, you know what I'm saying? Everyone I train with. I just gotta shout them out because I couldn't be here without any of them,
Absolutely. So guys, make sure that you follow my boy here. I'm gonna go ahead, I'll include his Instagram information down below. And if you are an Ammy flyweight in Dallas Fort Worth and you're looking to catch that smoke, you let me know, and I'll vet you, and we'll see if you're good enough for my guy here. But Landon, appreciate your time this afternoon, man, and we'll do it again soon.